What's something you find weird that is 100% normal? The fact humans drink other animals' milk. Like that liquid isn't for us. People find the thought of drinking human milk gross, but it's especially formulated for us. It's something that should be consumed for nutrients when we're babies, not a regular drink. Cheering in a crowd. I just can't bring myself to woo-oo. Alcohol. Wait till the wave passes through. As a dog owner and cat owner, I sometimes look at them and think, there is literally an animal living in my house whose ancestors ran free and hunted other animals, and it is just laying upside down all cute on its bed beside me and also can't eat unless I give it food. So I guess that. I always look at my cat and think about how stupid I must be. One day I was all like, hey, you're cute and furry. So come live in my house, scratch up my mats, vomit on my couch and leave hair absolutely everywhere while I spend my time and money caring for you. And then it twists in its sleep to expose that soft tummy fur. Worth it. Literally every day my husband and I marvel at the weirdness of a different species of creature being part of our family. Like we care so much about this tiny fluffy non-human woodland critter and he cares about us too. I have a dog we rescued that is the most loyal animal I've ever had. This random fur puff absolutely considers my wife and me as doggy Jesus, even though we have no fur and are giants. Never really thought about till your comment, but yeah, that's weird. Those moments really get weird to me when I look at my 120 pounds German Shepherd roaming around the house. Then I go over and give him a belly rub. It really is kind of bizarre on some level, isn't it? The entire concept of laughter. Why does our face contort and our diaphragm spasm when certain things happen? And how do our brains decide what things are funny and what things aren't? I once saw a documentary that studied laughter in apes. They said that it was a reaction for when someone makes a mistake, but it doesn't matter / isn't anything serious. Kinda makes sense to me. We scream to alert others of danger or that we need help, so laughter is a way of following it up with false alarm. How many times have you laughed to yourself after being startled over something trivial? It's basically that. An unexpected outcome also makes us laugh. That's why jokes work. In a similar vein, it's a way to show that you are play fighting. Even rats will laugh while play fighting. So it's just the primordial way of saying just a prank, bro. I'm curious why it's so cathartic. Maybe a way of the brain reinforcing and rewarding the behavior. Laughter is like your entire body spasming at once, repeatedly, violently forcing air out of your lungs. I imagine the good chemicals come from that exertion, but I don't, / even, know I'm just a monkey on the internet. The zookeepers are off for Christmas, thumbs up. I believe it's an evolutionary bonding trait. So why do I laugh alone then? Oop, you evolved too much. Gravity. It's working against me. Yeah, like, is it a law, a thing, a relative? I think it's a suggestion. Dancing. Like people flail around in weird and awkward ways to sounds. Squeaky tennis shoe noises. Our stomach naturally produces hydrochloric acid. It's corrosive and can burn through your skin and tissues. Our stomach lining is covered in mucus to prevent us from eating inside out. Have you seen hydrochloric in a science experiment? That chemical reaction is insane. Makes sense as we eat meat, bones and cartilage sometimes. If not, our poop is gonna be bony. The stomach lining replaces itself every day with a fresh set of cells. Imagine being born into the world just to find out your only purpose is in life to use your body as a disposable structural unit for holding acid. They live their best life. Fulfilling their purpose with gusto. Can dissolve bone, but corn? No way. We call those tracer bullets around here. I mean, most seeds are designed to withstand the kind of corrosion since their whole purpose is to be spread as widely as possible via the GI tract of us animals. So yeah, seeds greater than bones. And what's even wilder is that there is a host of bacteria, parasites and seeds that can just survive a swim in it, or even thrive. Some mold is edible. No matter how stinky it is. Even crazier is how mold has shaped modern medicine. The Romans used to put moldy bread on wounds, which then developed into modern-day penicillin. Originally it was difficult to mass-produce penicillin because the yield from the mold they originally had was so low. But researchers made a huge breakthrough when they discovered a new strain of mold that was much more productive. The strain eventually became the primogenitor for almost all of the world's penicillin. They discovered the new mold on an overripe cantaloupe they bought in a fruit market near their lab in Peoria, Illinois. After they scraped the mold off to culture it, they ate the cantaloupe. Yum, medicinal rotting cantaloupe. Blue cheese edit, I know it has mold in it, that's why I made the fucking comment, you fart-sniffing lemurs. Birds having a built-in GPS system. They can fly south for the winter, then fly back to the exact same tree up north. I once saw in a video that they may just know how to feel the magnetic field of the Earth, so my guess is that when winter comes, they just follow a path to south, and can exactly retrace their flight back to north once it warms up again. Researchers discovered that the light-sensitive protein cryptochrome 4, found in birds' retinas, is sensitive to magnetic fields and could well be the long-sought magnetic sensor of the migratory birds. So birds can see magnetic fields? Rad. Just because it's in their retina doesn't mean they see them, but they might. The brain can evolve to process the information it gets however it likes. Just like how we have fluid in our ear to detect movement, but we don't feel balance as a sound. I love that analogy, I'm stealing it. Languages, or just talking in general. The fact that we've given meaning to a bunch of random sounds made by our vocal cords is bizarre when you think about it. Like, how did this even start? How were we able to decide what should be called what? For example, how did we decide that a rock is called a rock or that the sky is called the sky? The origin of language is an unsolved problem in linguistics that will most likely remain forever unresolved, insofar as no written records are thought to exist of it. It's wondrous to speculate about. I've been to Cherokee, NC, and have seen the written Cherokee language. Once while high in the shower thoughts and ideas, OMG, I wondered what they do about new words that didn't exist when this country was all still Native American land, like airplane or cell phone. Do they make new words? Who decides? Stuff like that. Language tends to evolve organically to some degree. We were playing a game and my son-in-law wanted to know what Sputnik meant in Russian. Google told me it meant fellow traveler, but that it has also evolved to mean satellite as well. Meanings of words change over time as well. Just like how the word satellite originally meant a follower or attendant of a superior person. Then, starting in the 1600s, it was used to refer to small celestial bodies orbiting larger ones. It wasn't until the 1930s when it was first used to refer to man-made machinery orbiting the Earth. The Internet. How it works, and also just the whole concept of it. Complete strangers on literally the other side of the planet can interact with me almost instantaneously. Like this. Hi there. Hello world. Hello everybody. Hi Dr. Nick. To add on to this, how much we've changed about how we handle the internet. When it started we were taught, don't give out personal info, and don't tell strangers where you live or where you're going. Oh, and never put your financial info online. Now there's dating sites, so many social media sites, shopping sites, and things like Uber where people give up all kinds of info and locations to strangers, without a second thought, depending on the site, lol, in most cases. I once made a friend and she insisted on not telling anyone we met on the internet. Today it's completely normal to meet people you met online. Using sharp metal to scrape hair off of my face. I think in genitalia is even weirder, it's so sensitive. I personally don't use my genitalia to scrape hair off my face, but to each their own I guess. Then whose genitalia do you use to scrape hair off my face? Kissing. I mean, I like it. It's nice. But honestly, who was the first person to say let's mash my mouth against your mouth and see what happens? Lips are erogenous zones. Reading. Like, there are these random squiggles and we can instantly interpret them into complex thoughts, concepts, feelings, emotions, from people we've never met or sometimes even heard of before. It's weird. I sometimes think about how crazy construction of a language to tell a story must have been back in the day and how powerful a tool language is. Indeed. Language is one of the most important reasons for why humanity is what it is, as it has allowed for information and knowledge to be saved, passed on, and improved upon throughout generations. What an astonishing thing a book is. It's a flat object made from a tree with flexible parts on which are imprinted lots of funny dark squiggles. But one glance at it and you're inside the mind of another person, maybe somebody dead for thousands of years. Across the millennia, an author is speaking clearly and silently inside your head, directly to you. Writing is perhaps the greatest of human inventions, binding together people who never knew each other, citizens of distant epochs. Books break the shackles of time. A book is proof that humans are capable of working magic. Carl Sagan. Wow. Those are some really nice squiggles. I like this take on it. This is what we're both looking at, and we both see it. But I didn't tell you. You didn't ask me. I never opened my mouth and you never opened yours. We're not even in the same year together, let alone the same room. Except we are together. We are close. We're having a meeting of the minds. We've engaged in an act of telepathy. No Mythy Mountain shit, real actual telepathy. Stephen King. That sounds like something he must have written while out of his mind on cocaine. True, I've learned to interpret squiggles from different parts of the word. In Game of Thrones, the one girl is listening to a story and she goes, "You got all of that from markings on paper?" And it made me take a mental step back and think about how cool writing really is. Can you remember what writing looked like to you before you could read? I can't, but I remember that my parents used to sit down and stay very quiet and read books or magazines occasionally, and I remember being sort of jealous that I couldn't participate in whatever it was they were doing. Dreaming. Whole worlds, people following some kind of plot. Coming to same places in different dreams, sometimes years away. Then we wake up and puff. Off it goes. Balloons. Like here, have a sack of breath. Having pets. I have 2 dogs that I love to death, but when I really think about it, I realize they're just 2 random animals that I saw one day and said, yeah, I like that one, and put them in my home against their will, and I give them food regularly and smother them with more affection than I give to other people. And those 2 random animals seem to think that's totally dope and show signs of liking me back. I agree, the fact we have another living creature with us and bond with it. I understand how we got to this point, but it still amazes me. Oh yeah, I always get stuck on this, ESP if I'm stoned. I just stare at the cat and dog and am like, what do you think is going on here? What do you think I'm saying? Do you wonder where your kin are? What do you think I am, friend, pseudo-mother, some random beast? It's so wild we learn to communicate effectively with them and have mutually beneficial relationships with them. I've never gotten over it. I'm just imagining your cat and dog staring back at you like, oh fuck, she's high again lol. Haha, probably. Time to be pet and asked how such a soft creature can exist. I do it when I'm not high too. Anytime I drive with my dog I'm like, what do you think is happening right now? What is your concept of a vehicle? I wish I could know. My dog throws up, so my dog sees it as a moving metal box throw up machine. Ha! You sound like my husband. Don't you think it's weird? This creature walking around our apartment? Do you think he misses his siblings? My dog was one we picked out of a litter of 6 or 7. I always wonder if we had picked one of his brothers or sisters, would we love them just as much? We obviously think our boy is the best boy, but we'd likely think the same thing about any of the others. And why does our dog love us so much, and our roommate's dog loves them? How do they know who they belong to? I don't feel like I treat them any different, but they know. It's interesting. Crying. Why does my body create liquid from my eyes if something is sad? Edit. Holy shit, this comment has blown up. I've only ever had like 50 upvotes at most for anything. Ha ha ha, Merry Christmas. The chemical everyone is talking about is cortisol, the stress hormone, and crying actually lowers your cortisol levels. That's why you feel better after crying. You're supposed to feel better after crying? Bro, I get a headache and need a nap. Your brain misses its usual high level of cortisol, lol. This is actually true. Cortisol negates pain, and stress relief is a real trigger for migraine headache in many people. Edit. People have been asking for a source. I'm no expert on this, but there is lots of anecdotal and some clinical evidence for the phenomenon of letdown migraine. General article, https://www.migraineagent.com/migraine work 7 tips and letdown headaches/ I think it's mostly based on this 2014 study, https://www.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov/pmc/articles/pmc4001194/ it's probably a sign of chronic stress. You're getting less sad? No, you can't have that, here's a migraine instead. My brain hates me so much it says if you're not sad you're gonna be in pain. The fact we piss, shit and receive pleasure within a 2-inch radius to all the smartasses that say it doesn't apply to them because they're hung, your cum gland still starts in your bollocks. Shit, piss, orgasm, and offspring new life. If you were a lizard, you could do all 4 things with one hole. Such efficiency. Probably half of the words in any given language. Repeat any word a handful of times, and it can start to sound really weird. Then I start questioning why that word is associated with whatever it's associated with. There's usually never a good answer, but it's great enunciation practice for sure. I edit, thank you fellas and lady fellas for my most upvoted comment on here so far. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone. I think the phenomenon is called semantic satiation. When you say a word repeatedly and it sounds like nonsense after a while. Teeth. I don't know why. Your teeth are the only part of your skeleton that you can see. You bleach them, you lose them, you put metal racks on them so you remold your bones to the shape that society finds visually appealing. There's a fictional woman that breaks into your house to pay you for these bones. It sounds like a straight-up sociopath. We get film on them that calcifies and solidifies and makes other bone-like material. Like teeth are weird, dude. It's even worse, your teeth aren't part of your skeleton. Your skeleton forms from the mesoderm during gastrulation. Your nervous system, mucous membranes, teeth, and skin form from the ectoderm. Your teeth are more like hard, pointy skin than bones. Your mouth is full of skin rocks. Edit, a word. Your mouth is full of skin rocks will now forever live rent-free in my head. Thank you, kind stranger. The fact that almost everybody finds somebody's butt attractive. Screams in baboon. Being alive, in this world. Just the fact that everything exists. Or does it? I love to get stoned and just stare at shit thinking how the fuck? Is this even real? It mostly leads to panic attacks, but seriously. What the fuck is everything? I did mushrooms once and just laid in bed appreciating friction for like 2 hours. And that billions of years existed before our individual consciousness and billions will exist after, and our entire enormous perception of life and reality and self is confined to this tiny little minuscule sliver of time that will evaporate as rapidly as it appeared. Forget that, how are we even conscious? How did a collection of chemicals gain the power of cognition? 99% of TV and ads. They all suck and make me not want to buy the product they advertise. How do commercials make people want to buy things? The only ads that are even useful to me are movie trailers at this point, but almost never for new IP. Public bathroom stalls in the US. Completely normal yet 100% fucked. The Gap, like why? I don't need to look a stranger in the eyes as I pass a food baby. I had someone's toddler crawl under the door into my stall one time. Got all the way under and then stood up and stared at me while I was on the toilet. I yelled out, someone's child is in my stall. I had to open my door while I was still shitting to get him out to his mom. Like what the fuck? One of the weirdest things to ever happen to me. That's really weird. And I'd have a germ meltdown if my kid was crawling on the floor of a public bathroom. Ew. Some parents really just let their kids go. I've walked into public restrooms that young children were treating like a playground. It's filthy and the parents should be ashamed. Clapping, animals must think we're mental. Apart from seals know. What's weird is I think it's something innate. Babies clap all the time when they're happy. Sometimes when I get really excited I instinctively clap. So where did that trait come from? I wonder if other primates do it. Maybe it's like dogs wagging their tail. They do, in fact. They've even found that chimps will clap and sway when music is played for them. What are chimpanzees' favorite artist? Gorillas. Arctic monkeys. The monkeys. In my anthropology class this past semester we learned that musicality is a trait we inherited from our most recent ancestors shared with apes. This is why they participate in clapping/percussion and ritual vocals around relating to dominance and the like. As someone else mentioned, they are able to clap along with a beat, showing the very mild beginnings of auditory-driven trances. These traits go all the way back to the beginnings of shamanic rituals when we were first starting to try and make sense of the world around us and communicate abstract concepts with symbols of those interpretations. On that note, I want to read some spooky anthropology stuff. Off to read Laird Barron again ASAP. Is there anything cooler than the shit you learn in anthropology classes? Not a chance. This was an anthropology of religion, witchcraft, and magic. Best class ever, and it got me to change my major. I took a very similar course in the 90s. It was called Magic, Witchcraft, and Religion. It was an absolutely fascinating class. My teacher was Dr. Hank Wesselman, who did carbon dating in the Ethiopian Rift every other year. Our textbook was The Way of the Shaman by Michael Harner. Whilst checking the spelling of his name, I just learned Dr. Wesselman passed this past February. He wrote several books that you may be interested in if you enjoyed that class. He was a fascinating person and lecturer. I know I said fascinating multiple times, but he and his class really were. I can honestly say that class changed the way I observe and interact within the world. You're literally hitting yourself or epeatedly to show appreciation for others. And we hit the other person on the face to show disapproval. I don't see how that is a flawed system. If we reverse this, sporting events would be much more entertaining. On that note, smiling. Baring your teeth at something and it's not a threat? In fact, the opposite? Weird. Ooh. I actually know about this. Smiling, and by extension, laughter, is a form of play signaling. Lots of animals have play signaling, and it allows them to differentiate between being playful and actually being in danger, which is important for animals when they are playing with their young, as that's often how they teach their young how to defend themselves. There's a variety of play signals between different animals. For example, dogs play signal by bowing down on their front legs. Smiling as a play signal behavior has been observed across many species of primates. It's why humans will sometimes smile or laugh when we are nervous or feel threatened. We are instinctually signaling play behavior in the hopes the perceived threat also signals back and we can relax. Obviously, human psychology is a bit more advanced than our primitive instincts, but it's neat to know where our smiles come from originally. You can smile without showing your teeth, but then Italians will wonder what you are hiding. My shitting teeth, that's what I'm hiding. Edit, was supposed to say shitty. I'm not changing it, the comments are great. If you like the video, hit that subscribe button for more content. I post every day and I'll see you next time with more stories.